Today, we're diving into Dante's Divine Comedy. But we're not just looking at it as some dusty old epic poem. No, we're going to treat it as what it really is, an incredible 700-year-old map for the soul's journey from total crisis to salvation.
So, let me start with a question that I think we've all felt at some point. Have you ever been just completely and utterly lost? That feeling of confusion, where you have no idea which way to turn. It's a fundamental part of being human. Well, way back in the year 1300, a poet named Dante Alighieri found himself in what he famously called a dark wood. Now, he wasn't talking about a literal forest, of course. This was this powerful, gripping metaphor for a soul in crisis, tangled up in sin, confusion, and despair.
And the incredible story of how he got out of that dark wood? Well, that became something much more than just a poem. It became a timeless, universal map for spiritual transformation, one that's laid out in 3 very clear stages. And that's exactly what we're going to walk through together.
Okay, so stage 1 on this map is all about recognizing there's a problem in the first place. You could call it the diagnosis phase. And for this, we have to go down into the inferno. Hell.
Here's a way to think about it. If your soul is a shipwreck at the bottom of the ocean, the inferno is the deep, dark dive you have to take to inspect the damage, right? You can't even begin to think about repairs until you understand exactly what's broken. The very first step to getting out of the woods is figuring out how you got so lost. Now, to get through this terrifying place, Dante has a guide, the Roman poet Virgil. And Virgil is the perfect guide for this part because he represents human reason. Reason is the tool that lets us identify, categorize, and really understand sin. And the whole place, all of hell, is organized by one brilliant principle, something called contrapasso.
So what is contrapasso? It's this incredible idea of poetic, divine justice. It basically means that the punishment a soul receives isn't random. It's a perfect, symbolic reflection of the sin they committed when they were alive.
And you can see this logic so clearly in the punishments. Take the lustful, for example. In life, they let themselves get swept away by their passions, right? So in hell, they are endlessly swept about by a violent, dark storm. Perfect. Or think about the treacherous, who committed cold-hearted acts of betrayal. What's their punishment? They're frozen solid in a lake of ice for all eternity. A complete absence of warmth mirroring their own souls. It's chillingly perfect.
And all of this leads to this crucial change in Dante himself. See, he starts his journey feeling sorry for these souls, pitying them. But as he goes deeper, he learns to let go of that pity and accept the logic of divine justice. And that's the soul's first big step, moving beyond our own subjective feelings to see the objective reality of sin and its consequences.
So, once the diagnosis is complete, what's next? Well, the treatment, of course. And that brings us to stage 2, Purgatorio, the realm of active purification, and most importantly, of hope.
Yeah, unlike the endless despair of hell, purgatory is buzzing with hope. The souls here, they know they're on their way to salvation, and they actually want to go through their trials. So, back to our sailing metaphor, this is where the shipwreck is brought to the surface. The crew is actively repairing the hull, fixing the mast, and learning how to navigate by the stars again.
And the whole process is incredibly structured. When Dante arrives, an angel carves 7 P's on his forehead. P for peccatin, which is Latin for sin. He then has to climb the 7 terraces of Mount Purgatory, and each one is dedicated to cleansing one of the 7 deadly sins. Every time he completes a terrace, an angel wipes one of the P's away. And here's the beautiful part. The climb literally gets easier with each sin he purges. It's a perfect symbol for his soul becoming lighter and freer.
This is where we see a fascinating twist on contrapasso. In hell, it was all about punishment. Here, it's about correction. So the proud, who held their heads high in life, are now forced to carry these massive, heavy stones that make them hunch over, physically teaching them humility. The envious, who looked at others' good fortune with malice, now have their eyes sewn shut with iron wire, forcing them to look inward and find goodness there. See? It's not about payback, it's about healing.
So what's the big idea in purgatory? It's that all sin, every single one, is just a form of distorted or misdirected love. It's either loving the wrong thing, like when pride makes you love harming others, or not loving the right thing enough, like with sloth, or loving a good earthly thing way too much, like avarice or gluttony. The entire purpose of this stage is to fix that, to reorder your love and point it back towards God.
And then, right at the very summit of Mount Purgatory, we get this huge, pivotal moment. Virgil, our guide, human reason, has to stop. He sadly explains he can go no further, and in his place steps Beatrice, who is the symbol of divine grace and revelation.
This is one of the most powerful statements in the whole poem. What Dante is saying is that human reason is incredible. It's a powerful tool. It can help you diagnose sin, it can help you understand morality, and it can guide you all the way to a state of earthly, moral perfection.
But, and this is the crucial part, reason has its limits. To take that final transcendent step into the divine, you need something more. Only divine grace, something beyond our own intellect, can pull you across that final threshold into heaven.
And that brings us at last to the final stage, the recovery. This is the goal of the entire journey. We're headed into Paradiso, which represents the soul's ultimate union with God.
Now, with Beatrice leading the way, the journey is no longer a painful struggle. It's this beautiful, joyful ascent through spheres of pure light and love. To finish our sailing metaphor, the ship is fully repaired. This is the serene voyage into the home harbor, guided by a perfect, divine wind. It's effortless.
Paradiso is really an allegory for the ultimate quest of the human intellect. The idea is that our minds are built with this deep, restless yearning for truth, and they can never be truly content, never be fully satisfied until they are illuminated by the highest truth itself.
And the whole journey culminates in a final vision. A vision so powerful, so profound, that Dante says it's beyond words. He calls it ineffable. In that one incredible moment, his own will, his own desires, become perfectly aligned with the divine will. And this isn't about losing yourself. It's about finding your ultimate purpose in a perfect cosmic harmony. Okay, so we've gone from the depths of hell, climbed the mountain of purgatory, and soared through the heavens of Paradiso. What does this ancient map really mean for us, right here, right now? The entire epic, thousands and thousands of lines, ends with this one absolutely stunning image. Dante finally understands that the very same force that guided his own personal journey out of the dark wood is the exact same force that governs the entire cosmos. It's the love that moves the sun and the other stars.
In the end, Dante's incredible map shows us this timeless three-stage journey that anyone can take. First, diagnosing our own brokenness. Second, actively working to heal it. And finally, finding our true purpose by aligning ourselves with a higher good. It's a universal framework for transformation. So the only question that's left to ask is, where are you on the map?